In this video, we are going to continue down the line of if Naruto were in a team that wasn't too far removed from the Super Sentai heroes. In the last video, in the aftermath of the attack, Naruto and Gaara continue their school lives as each of the Biju Sentai investigate where the monster could have come from. At this time, Yagura and Isobu are attacked by a mysterious warrior who also appears to possess a Biju, or something similar. In the end, the Dark Bijuranger is capable of bringing Yagura down, and leaves him in critical condition while taking Isobu for himself. After this, the aggressor, later shown to be Sasuke Uchiha, returns to class where he collapses and is transported to the hospital, but subsequently released. Naruto follows him home, hoping to give him his homework from school, but walks in and sees Sasuke manifesting the powers of the Dark Bijuranger. He gives Naruto one command, and that is to run. And that's where we're picking up today. I hope you've got your popcorn and soda ready. Let's get into it. But first, welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, only 25% of our viewers are subscribed. So if you're a fan of the video, please like and double check if you are subscribed. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Naruto stood there despite the command, trying to process what he was looking at. A dark chakra was emanating from Sasuke. It was not too dissimilar from that of a Jinchuriki, but something was different. And how could he be a Jinchuriki anyway? There were only 9 Biju. But then he remembered the words of Yagura, a false Bijuranger. He then hit a terrible realization. Sasuke, you're the one who hurt Yagura? Sasuke, down on all fours, his canines extended out like fangs, roared at Naruto like some lion. He rushed at him with incredible speed. Naruto doubled back as fast as he could, heading for the door. As he ran out, he grabbed onto the door jamb and used it to swing him around the corner so as to not lose momentum while moving. Sasuke, on the other hand, slammed into the wall outside of his door and merely corrected his course, rushing at Naruto once again. "Naruto, what are you doing?" Kurama demanded. "I'm running for my life," Naruto responded. "No, turn around and fight him." Naruto was shocked. He made for the stairwell. As he did, he began to jump down each flight of stairs at every bend. He wanted to put as much distance between him and Sasuke as possible. "Fight him? You saw what he did to Yagura, and Yagura's far stronger than me. Wiser too. There's no way I can last in a fight like that," Naruto shouted, starting to lose his breath. Kurama growled. "There's a reason why Kushina was the leader of the Biju Sentai, and that was solely because she bonded with me. I'm the strongest beast, as well as the wisest, and much like Fu, Kushina trusted me with everything, including her very life. I hate to break it to you, Kurama, but my mother is dead," Naruto shouted. They then found a supply room to hide inside. Kurama looked down. "That was cold." Naruto, finally having a chance to calm, looked down. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't fair of me." Kurama shook his head. "No, it was fair, which is why it hurt so badly. I should have been there with Kushina. If she couldn't do it alone, maybe she could have if I had been there. And if not, at least she wouldn't have had to die alone." Naruto took the fox from his shoulder and held it in his hands. "Kurama, I'm sorry I said that. I don't want to die. And I'm scared that if we face an enemy that even Yagura couldn't beat, that we'll both die." Kurama put his paw on Naruto's face. "I swear upon the pain of death, I won't let you die like I let Kushina die. Let whatever fate you bear be my own, but 10 times worse." Just as he said that, the door swung open and a silhouette with dark purple chakra stood above them. "Sasuke, wait! You know me! We're friends!" Kurama shook his head. "Naruto, that's not Sasuke. I can see it in his eyes. Another creature has control right now. The only way out is to fight. Give me control, and I'll get you out of this." Naruto looked to Kurama and nodded. Suddenly, the beast merged with Naruto, and the two began to glow with chakra, turning to the version 2 cloak. Naruto pounced at Sasuke, pushing him back toward the stairwell. Sasuke, taking on his own purple version 2 cloak, attacked Naruto in return. The two clawed at each other. Naruto, all the while, tried not to focus, but instead remained limp, allowing Kurama to fight for him. He felt as if his body were in a continuous state of muscle spasm. He was not the one controlling his body, yet his muscles tensed and moved all the same. Every so often, he'd feel his body cleaved open by a set of claws. He almost tensed up with that, but Kurama's gentle chakra helped calm him and soothe the wounds. Kurama would tackle Sasuke and cause them to continue rolling down the stairs. As they did, Kurama tried to manipulate their fall to always be the one landing on Sasuke. The two hit the ground. Kurama and Sasuke were both hard-pressed to stand, but they managed it anyway. Sasuke's eye began to bleed as he cast a Matarasu. Kurama sensed the chakra coming his direction to set fire to him and Naruto both and dodged out of the way. The flames barely missed them, setting the railing of the stairs on fire instead. "You like fire, do ya?" Kurama weaved hand signs and suddenly blew a massive fireball from his mouth, striking Sasuke. Sasuke hit the wall and fell back. Kurama drew closer. "Yield," he demanded as he prepared to attack again. Sasuke put his hands together. Suddenly, from below, a tree sprouted, pushing Naruto and Kurama up. Naruto and Kurama were pressed against the ceiling, struggling against the tree. During the time it took them to get free, it seemed that Sasuke had already escaped. Naruto came down and looked around. "I don't see him," Naruto said. "That's because he escaped," Kurama stated, with a slight touch of disappointment. "I'm sorry, Naruto." Kurama once more let Naruto have his full autonomy, returning to Naruto's shoulder. "It's okay, Kurama, you almost beat him, and that means a lot. I was wrong. You definitely are the strongest Biju." Kurama sighed. "I suppose we need to tell the others. Let's get back to HQ." And so the two of them began to make their way up toward the Bijuranger HQ, where they would wait until the rest of the Sentai got back. There, Naruto would tell them what he saw. Sasuke is the Dark Bijuranger, but that doesn't make sense. Why would Sasuke betray the village like this and throw in with the Akatsuki? "I don't think he has," Naruto said. Kurama noticed during the battle that Sasuke was not the one in control. Whatever beast is giving him this power, it seems like it's corrupting Sasuke. He might not want to do what he's doing. "He did tell us to run," Kurama stated. "Whatever remained inside of him at that moment didn't want to see us hurt, so he might be able to be saved. We just have to find him." It was right about this time that the door opened. The entire group looked back and saw Hiruzen step in. "Lord Third, welcome. To what do we owe the pleasure?" Yugito Ni asked. "The recent news of Yagura's admission to the hospital reached me. I offer my condolences and my prayers for his full recovery." "Thank you, sir," Yugito said. "That being said, I've come with official orders. I want a full lockdown of the Biju pen. The Biju are to be put into the pen and locked in." "What? Why?" Fu demanded to know. "Yo, that's whack. I don't know if I can jive with that, you know," Killer Bee stated. Hiruzen held up his hands to calm them down. I know. It's not something any of us want, but Yagura's tailed beast was taken from him after he was defeated, and he was a powerful Jinchuriki. We can't risk losing any more of the beasts." "We can do it though," Naruto shouted. "I fought with his assailant earlier. He can be defeated." "Nevertheless, I want the beasts on lockdown. Is that understood?" Hiruzen said. "How are we supposed to do our jobs without our tailed beasts?" Roshi asked. "You will requisition from them some of their chakra, which you will keep on reserve unless needed. That should allow you to protect your beasts and still utilize your Jinchuriki powers," Hiruzen said. "Don't you think that's a bit of an overreaction?" Utakata spoke. "Left unattended, aren't the beasts in more danger?" Hiruzen shook his head. "The pen is protected by reinforced steel, lead, and various other alloys. It's designed to take the full power of a tailed beast. Beyond that, there's a sealing formula inside that ensures that one cannot simply teleport inside. Your base is one of the most protected places on Earth. There's no way that the enemy can get in. They're safer here than they are outside with you." Han took a deep breath and sighed out with a little worry. "I'm not convinced. I feel like they'd be better served staying with us." Hiruzen looked down and sighed once more. "I'm sorry, Han, but this isn't a request. It's an order. The Biju are grounded until further notice. Until we recover Isobu and stop the threat of the Akatsuki." Hiruzen began to leave. "Well, that just happened," Gaara said. "How are we supposed to work like this?" Fu asked. "It's not like we have much of a choice," Yugito stated. "We can't do much but comply. Then we'll decide who here has the greatest fighting experience and we'll set up priorities." Yugito then went to the Biju pen, as did the others. They begrudgingly set their beasts down. Despite the fact that it was not goodbye, for each of the Bijurangers it was heart-wrenching. For most of them, they'd been partners with these beasts, spending most of their lives with them. To set them aside like this was a true test of not just the beasts, but the Jinchuriki's independence. Naruto looked down at Kurama and set him on the floor. He stroked the little fox's cheek before touching noses with him, and for a moment, Kurama felt Kushina with him again. His little eyes welled up with tears, not because he was reminded that she was gone, but because he was reminded that she wasn't. A tiny piece of her still existed within Naruto. "I swore that I wouldn't let you die like Kushina," Kurama said. "I can't fulfill that promise inside this cage, Naruto." Naruto nodded. "I understand. I set you free from your oath." Kurama shook his head. "Don't. I will protect you. I just need you to stay alive until I can make my way back." Naruto smiled. "Don't worry, Kurama. I'll still have your chakra with me as long as you give it to me. It's the best you can do for me right now, but don't worry. I'm not completely useless. I'll survive." Kurama nodded. "Then take a greater portion of my chakra. May it serve you well." Kurama then gifted to Naruto as much chakra as he could spare, keeping only enough for himself to help him survive. The little fox seemed quite tired from this thereafter. Naruto would lay him down in his little house with his name over the doorway. He was sure to get some water and food for him when he woke up. The same was true of all the other Jinchuriki. Though they could not be with them in body, they would be with them in spirit. And it was that spirit that the Jinchuriki would carry with them into battle. Elsewhere, secretly watching this happen from the mountain's graveyard, Obito laughed. "Foolish Biju Rangers, you cannot stop my acquisition of those beasts." He then called for Sasuke. The boy wearing the black cloak and the monkey's Anbu mask stepped in, a miniature form of Nue on his shoulder. Sasuke bowed. "Yes, my master." Obito returned to his throne and sat. "The Biju Rangers seek you, my Dark Ranger. This is fortunate for us. Their attention will be on you. In their weakened state, they should not be much of an issue, but lead them on. Have them follow you for as long as you can. I need time to set my plan in motion." Sasuke nodded. "As you wish, Lord Obito." Back at Sentai HQ, Naruto and the other Jinchuriki locked the pen's vault. Yugito then began to speak. "We will now decide the strongest among ourselves. The most capable to fight are myself, Killer Bee, Han, and Roshi. Fu, Utakata, Naruto, and Gaara will be support. We'll split up evenly. In case of a battle, the more experienced warrior will take point, while the secondary Biju Ranger provides support from behind. This can include hit-and-run tactics that don't interfere with the lead ranger's attack, but this also may include gifting extra chakra reserves and the tailed beast energy to keep the battle going." "What's the plan?" Han asked. Yugito then began to lay out the plan. It was simple enough. "We're gonna take our time locating Sasuke. Once we've found him, we apprehend and interrogate him with the help of the Yamanaka clan. We figure out where Isobu is and retrieve him." "That's easier said than done," Utakata said. "For all we know, Sasuke's no longer in the village." "That's true, but we take our chances. We search the entire village from top to bottom. His objective is here, so he surely wouldn't leave entirely. The question is, where would he be hiding if not at his apartment?" Naruto and Gaara looked to each other. "We think we might know." The skies were dark. In the distance, thunder roared like a storming lion. The land of fire was in the midst of the stormy season. This was great for crops, despite the danger it caused elsewhere. Despite the fact that Naruto hated lightning and its sudden startling nature, he, as well as the other Biju Sentai, knew that it was perfect for them. It was covering their tracks and provided them with enough cover that they didn't need to worry about their whispers being overheard in the torrent. They were in the old abandoned compound of the Uchiha. Despite the fact that this was where Sasuke's life had changed forever, filled with so many dark memories, Naruto and the others waited here for his arrival. Sasuke most definitely would be here. There was no chance he wouldn't be. It was the perfect place to hide, an abandoned area of the village where nobody ever visited. Urban legends spoke that the area was haunted and that at night, the souls of the Uchiha that had not passed on took the form of Yako, evil field foxes, their eyes glowing and about them floating the Kitsunebi that summoned forth other vengeful spirits. Of course, this was all urban legend. The compound was as safe as any other place in the village, but it was for these reasons that Sasuke would likely hide here, making his own base of operations right under their noses in the most literal of fashions. "Did you see him yet?" Gaara asked Roshi. Roshi shook his head. Yugito and Naruto were together as well. The Sentai had broken up into a group of 4, using the previously established battle plans of Yugito to maintain fair strength. The Sentai were each guarding specific areas of the compound, waiting to see if Sasuke would appear. Yugito and Naruto had taken their posts just across from the building that had once belonged to the clan head of the Uchiha, Sasuke's father, Sasuke's original home. The Sentai opened their specific channel that was being controlled and monitored by the intel unit and the Yamanaka clan. "Status report," Yugito demanded. "Nothing by the old market," Roshi said. "Nothing by the Naka Shrine," Han said. "Zilch! Nada! Nothing at the old police HQ, you fools!" Killer Bee spoke. "Nothing by the clan head's house," Yugito said. Naruto sat back against a wall and sighed. "Imagine that Sasuke never shows up here," Naruto said, beginning to worry that he'd been wrong. "Don't think like that. We won't know unless we try," Yugito replied. "It's a better lead than nothing, even if we were wrong." Just as she says this, she straightens up. "Wait, I see something." Naruto comes to the window and carefully peeks out. A hooded figure stands in front of the old house. He pulls back the cowl of his cloak as he looks up at the home. His black hair assaulted by the rain, each point being pressed down by the precipitation. Despite standing there solemnly, he does not go inside. Yugito confirms the target to the other Sentai and tells them to close in on her location. One group down the eastern road, one down the western, and one down the southern portion of the three-way intersection where the home of Fugaku was. "What about us?" Naruto asked. Yugito pointed up. "We'll be coming from above." Naruto and Yugito then made their way up to the roof of the building they were on. From there, they could see the others on their way. Yugito and Naruto jumped to the roof of the home of Fugaku. Sasuke looked up at them silently. Yugito then spoke to him. "You're surrounded. Surrender!" Sasuke looked around and saw them coming for him in all directions. "If you surrender now and tell us what we need to know, I promise on behalf of all of Konoha, you will not see retaliation. You'll be forgiven for your crimes." Sasuke once more turned his attention to her. Maybe I don't want to be forgiven for my crimes. Maybe I simply wish to see Konoha burn. At this time, the other Jinchuriki of the Biju Sentai were surrounding him. Regardless, you have nowhere to go, Yugito stated. Resist and die or surrender and live. Those are your only two options. Sasuke thought for a moment as he looked up into the heavens. I choose option 3. Resist, live, and kill you. He held his hand up into the air, his fist clenched and flowing with the lightning-style chakra of the Chidori. Suddenly, from the skies above, a bolt of lightning fell down, striking his fist with a thunderous roar and a crack of speed. At that moment, his Chidori evolved into a Raikiri. He was then covered in his version 1 cloak. I can't help but notice that you don't have your tailed beasts on your shoulders. Are they not with you? Do you truly believe you can subdue me without them? Yugito sighed within herself. I guess we'll see. She pointed forward. She, Bee, Han, and Roshi all rushed at Sasuke, weapons drawn. Sasuke stood there motionless as they came in. With a quick flick of his wrist, nearly impossible to see, his Raikiri shattered the weapons of all those nearby, save Killer Bee, who himself was well versed in lightning release ninjutsu. This caught Sasuke slightly off guard, but he recovered quickly thanks to the evolution of his Sharingan. Twirling under Bee's many swings of his seven sword style, Sasuke brandished a sword of his own, which he transferred the lightning style chakra of his hand into. He used his Sharingan and the speed granted to him by his lightning style to keep up with the attack. The rest of the Biju Sentai closed in to attack. Elsewhere, as this battle was happening, Obito appeared in their base, stepping out of their training chamber. The Biju Sentai could not have known that their Kamui dimension that they use for training and the Kamui dimension of my Mangekyo Sharingan are the same dimension. They may not allow teleportation ninjutsu in their base, but this training room is one exception. He stepped through, his Rinnegan mask making his entire head appear like a single eye. He gazed at the building. Interesting. There's no wonder I can't teleport in, even knowing where it is. It's so heavily fortified and covered in sealing formula. He came to the door that said Biju Pen on it. It was a heavy door, not too unlike a vault door in a bank. Formidable. I would suppose that there's no attack on Earth that could break through this door. But then again, considering Kamui is granted certain permissions here, though I may not be able to teleport right into the room, I might be able to use it to phase through the door. He attempted to do as he had stated. Happily, it seemed his phasing was unaffected by the space-time ninjutsu restriction. Each of the beasts were asleep at this moment. They had given much of their chakra to their Jinchuriki and were now too weak to protect themselves, and so Obito began to pack them into a burlap bag. They attempted to struggle within, but were still too weak to resist. Once they'd all been gathered up, Obito made his way back toward the door and phased through again, making his way back to the Kamui training room. Now, nothing else mattered. All that mattered was activating the Ten Tails. Sasuke was left on the run. The Biju Sentai were right behind him. Master, have you finished yet? He asked Obito. Oh yes, I'm finished. And so are you, Obito said. Good, open a portal and bring me back. No, I don't think you understand what I mean. You are finished. I have no further need for you. My destiny has arrived. You may perish with the rest of this world. Sasuke was confused. It was then that Killer Bee got the better of him and knocked Sasuke out. They would signal to the Anbu that their target had been captured. The Anbu would then come to collect him. Naruto stood there and watched. You know he wasn't in his right mind, right? Naruto asked. Yugito nodded. I know, and the Anbu know as well. Konoha will go easy on him. We'll break whatever spell they have over him, and if he cooperates, he'll probably be able to go back to a normal life. After that, Utakata appeared beside Yugito. It likely won't take Inoichi long to break him out of that genjutsu, and when he does, he'll comb his mind for the location of Isobu. Until then, we need to get back to base and recharge our tailed beast chakra. Yugito nodded. The 8 warriors began to make their way back to the HQ, where they made their way to the Biju Pen. Opening the massive vault door, they stepped in. You think the beasts are strong enough to give us more chakra? Naruto asked. I suppose you're right, but it wouldn't hurt to ask, Yugito said. It was then that they noticed the room was empty. Matatabi, Yugito called out. Kurama? Naruto asked as he looked inside of Kurama's little home. They're not here. Utakata looked at the log. It doesn't say that anyone entered this room after we closed it, so how did they get out? Fu stood looking at the security camera in the corner. Maybe that caught a picture. So the group went outside of the pen to the main computer where they pulled up the feed. It was then that they realized that Obito had snuck in. Oh crap, Roshi said looking at the footage. Yugito immediately stood and pulled out her phone. She began to call Hiruzen to tell him what was going on. Naruto continued to watch the footage. He watched Obito lift Kurama into his hands before tossing him into a burlap bag. The man stepped to the door and stopped for a moment before turning and looking at the camera with a smile. Despite his mask, Naruto knew he was smiling. He could see it in his eyes. The man then phased through the door. He has the ability to phase through things? Naruto wondered out loud. That's troublesome, yo. Not sure how to deal with that, bro, Killer Bee said. Yugito eventually came back. Yeah, Hiruzen's not taking it well. Wait, is he mad at us? Gaara asked. Yugito shook her head. No, he's upset at himself for not trusting our judgment. He's offering us carte blanche to do what we think is right in this position, and is offering us everything he has to make up for his error. Well, I mean, Mr. Hiruzen did mean well, Naruto said, and there was no way of knowing that the Biju pen wasn't impenetrable, Gaara tacked on. True, but he should have known by now to trust our judgment, Roshi said. But then he waved it off. Let's just forget it. We need to clean this up immediately. What should we do? Fu asked. Yugito then spoke. We need to go to the Anbu's base of operations and see if we can't get Sasuke to help us. And so the group left. It seemed that time was of the essence. With all tailed beasts, they knew that there was a big chance that the Ten Tails would wake up soon if they didn't hurry. And if the Ten Tails woke up, the world would surely end. So they made their way to the Anbu's base of operations. There they met with Inoichi. We've yet to decrypt the information in Sasuke's mind. It might take a while. Forget that. I need you to wake him up, Yugito said. Wake him up? In this state, he'll go berserk. And without your tailed beasts, is there any way you can stop him? Just do as the lady asks, Utakata said. So Inoichi did so. He woke Sasuke up. Sasuke raged against his restraints. He shouted so loud and at such a pitch that his voice cracked multiple times during the course of his blood-curdling battle cry. They held him down as his body began to bubble up with purple chakra. He attempted to bite them like some rabid dog. Naruto straddled him, sitting on his chest, holding his head still as Gaara from behind pressed down on Sasuke's forehead to stop him from resisting. Naruto then spoke. Sasuke, you need to resist. Obito isn't your master anymore. He betrayed you and left you behind. He could have rescued you. He could have saved you from us. There's no need to be loyal to him. Sasuke's eyes attempted to roll up in his head as his body convulsed. His Nue was attempting to break free from him to kill all those around him. Seal it, Inoichi shouted. One of the team began a sealing ritual to keep the beast inside of Sasuke's body. As the beast was sucked back inside, Sasuke's eyes rolled back down and shifted to Mangekyo. Naruto just barely got out of the way fast enough to dodge the flames. Somebody else grabbed a blindfold and placed it on Sasuke's face to obstruct his visual jutsu. Naruto leaned back forward. Sasuke, I know you're hurt. They dragged up the destruction of your clan, didn't they? He leaned forward and hugged the boy. I know what it's like to lose your family. I lost mine, not once, but twice. Sasuke seemed to slow down a little as he listened. My father died during the Third Shinobi World War, and no more than a month ago, I learned my mother and the man I saw as a grandfather died. And just earlier, Mr. Yagura, the man I held on to tightly for stability, was left in critical condition. I'm lost, Sasuke. I'm drifting in a sea of loneliness and sorrow. All I had was Kurama, and now he's gone too. Everyone I love keeps getting taken from me. Please, help me. Sasuke was still. He didn't move. Naruto looked at his face and then lifted the blindfold gently to see Sasuke was looking at him, tears rolling down his pained eyes. It hurts so bad. I feel so alone. Naruto began to cry too. I know how you feel, but please, we need your help. Obito is going to use the Ten Tails to kill everyone, just as Itachi killed the Uchiha. If you need family, if you need a brother, then I swear myself to be that for you, Sasuke. We all do, I swear. Sasuke looked around at the other 7 Bijurangers. I swear, said Yugito and Killer Bee. I swear, said Han and Roshi. I swear, said Utakata and Fu. Last but not least, Gaara spoke. I swear. Sasuke looked to Naruto again. Naruto smiled. So long as life is in my veins and so long as my soul continues to exist, I'll always be your friend. I'll always be your brother. That I swear. And in that moment, there was a pulse from Sasuke as he seemed to calm down. Obito Uchiha. That's his full name. He's the last surviving member of my clan besides me. He made me feel like I had a family again, but he betrayed me, just like Itachi. How do I know that you won't betray me too? Sasuke asked. Naruto shook his head with a smile. How do you know you won't be robbed from me by fate like everyone else? The answer is you don't. Your heart may be scarred, but you can't close off. If you close off because you're too afraid of feeling pain, then you'll never feel the good stuff either. You just have to trust me. Can you do that? Sasuke nodded. He's in the mountain's graveyard, in the land of iron. I know where that is, Fu said. When I was little, I ran off to see it for myself. There's so many bones there. I didn't know that was where the Akatsuki were based. Everyone got up off of Sasuke. Naruto helped him up. I'm gonna ask you for one more favor, Sasuke. You're the only one left with the powers of a Jinchuriki. We're gonna need your help. Can you help us? Sasuke nodded. And so they prepared for their final assault on the Akatsuki. After preparations had been completed, Sasuke utilized Nue's ability to shift through dimensions to teleport them to the location. They looked over the land and saw that it was there. The giant wooden figure. Knowing that this could be the last time they saw each other, Yugito Ni took the time to offer Sasuke something. Sasuke took it. What is it? She showed him. It's a Toku Sentai Bijuranger headband, just like ours. But instead of having the kanji for the tailed beast you possess, it is the kanji for Nue instead. She put it on Sasuke's head. Now you're officially one of us. Sasuke almost teared up, but he kept his composure. I promise I'll do my best to honor this great gift you've bestowed upon me. Nue, sitting on his shoulder, the little monkey-headed tiger with the tail of a snake's head, let out a growl of determination before leaping down in front of them all and transforming into its massive form. The Biju Sentai climbed upon its back and began to ride. As they made their way toward the ghetto statue, Nue offered some of its chakra to recharge the remainder of the tailed beast chakra they had before. As they grew closer, they witnessed the ritual. They climbed off the beast and rushed over to see the ghetto statue being fed each individual beast. "No! Kurama!" Naruto shouted. Obito laughed. "You're too late. The world starts anew." Suddenly, the ninth and final eye of the ghetto statue awakened. It stood upright and took on the form of the Ten Tails. Upon its surface were 9 amber crystals, each one glowing with the color of its respective tailed beast. Obito, riding upon the creature's back, approached the team. Nue was the only one capable of facing off against the creature at this moment, so Sasuke began to attack head-on, telling the rest of the Sentai to figure out a plan while he bought them time. Yugito Ni began to speak in regards to this. It was then that there was another voice heard behind them. They looked back and saw Yagura standing there. "Yagura!" Naruto ran over and hugged him. He let out a muffled cry. "Still sensitive, Naruto, still sensitive." "What are you doing here?" Yugito asked with a smile. Yagura spoke. "The circumstances were dire, so the doctors woke me up. They say my body should be fine if I don't push myself, but that being said, I don't think I've got a choice." "What's the situation?" They began to explain to him what was going on. They pointed up to the Ten Tails. "I see. I figured as much. So, what's the plan?" "We're just now brainstorming it," Yugito said. Yagura looked at the Ten Tails. "The ambers on its body. Each one emanates the chakra of a tailed beast." Yugito looked back. "I hadn't noticed." Yagura then spoke. "Chances are those are the proverbial batteries for Obito's new toy. If we break them, not only will we seize up the beast, but we also might free our companions." Yugito snapped her fingers as if that were the most brilliant plan she had ever heard. "All right, Sentai, form up. Take out the amber of the color of your beast." And so, as Sasuke kept the beast busy, each member of the Sentai began to run up the side of the beast. Naruto stepped in front of his crystal and began to beat on it. Within, he saw the form of Kurama. He put his hand to the amber. "Kurama, wake up!" There was no response. Naruto continued to beat upon the amber until his fists were bloody. He stepped back and looked at his hand. He then remembered the words of his mother. When in a bad situation, the last thing to do is panic. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and let the answer present itself. Naruto did so. He began to think, "Man, I wish I had a tailed beast ball right now." He then realized, wait, maybe I can. He began to form a swirling mass of chakra in the palm of his hand. It was different from a tailed beast ball, but only in what it was made of. It was mostly just filled with his own chakra, but nonetheless it was largely the same. Naruto told the others about it and they all attempted the same thing. Naruto then stepped back and let out a battle cry as he rushed forward and pushed his newly developed Rasengan, as he called it, into the amber, shattering it and freeing Kurama. At about that time, the other Sentai did the same thing. They grabbed their beasts and stepped back with them, but to their horror, the Ten Tails had only been slightly weakened by this. It was still going strong. Gathering around again, the group began to check on their Biju. "What's wrong with them?" Gaara asked. Yagura inspected them and let out a sigh. "They've been almost totally drained of chakra. They're dying." "Can't we save them?" Fu asked. Yagura looked at them. "They need a massive infusion of chakra, and I don't know how we can give up that much chakra without dying ourselves." "Are you saying there's nothing we can do, you fool?" B asked. Yagura was silent. A heaviness fell upon the entire team. Naruto stood there. "I refuse to lose my mother's beast. I'm not gonna stand here and let him die. Whether I perish or not, this is what I signed up for when I became a Bijuranger. I'll fuse him directly to my own chakra. Come hell or high water, I'm reviving him." Naruto utilized Fuinjutsu to merge Kurama's chakra directly with his own. In his subconscious, Naruto held Kurama in his hands. Before them was a vast sea of sparkling chakra. Naruto held the beast in his embrace and kissed his forehead. "I won't let you die." He then began to walk out into the chakra with him. He laid Kurama down in the chakra, and as soon as he did, Kurama's eyes opened, and the blue chakra that had been around them suddenly began to glow orange. Outside, the Biju Sentai watched Naruto's actions. Naruto's eyes opened and showed the slits of a fox's, and a moment later, his body was set aflame with the raw chakra of a tailed beast. Naruto spoke. "It worked. Kurama's alive. He's okay." The other Biju Sentai looked at their beasts and then did the same. Each one took on a unique chakra mode, much like Naruto's, but the color and design of their beast. Together, the 9 of them felt their power surging. "I've never felt this much power," Yagura said. "I feel like I could take any strike and walk away fine," Fu laughed. Together, the whole group formed up with each other and struck a pose. "Biju together, Sentai forever," they all shouted. The Ten Tails, hardly able to move any further, was stalling. "No, this can't be be the end of it. No, I was going to rule forever, Obito shouted. Striking all together, the group pierced through the Ten Tails. It began to overload with energy. Obito was caught in the surge. No! The Ten Tails fell backwards and exploded into nothingness. The world was saved. Returning to Konoha, the Biju Sentai received a hero's welcome and immediately met with Hiruzen for debriefing. There, they informed Hiruzen about everything that had happened. So you fused with your Biju, just like the Biju Sentai of the past. Well, I suppose that's only right. But what happened to the Ten Tails? Yagura looked down. It was destroyed. We couldn't seize it. Hiruzen sighed. Ah well, it can't be helped. Maybe it's best for the world that it no longer exists. The world is better off without the threat of destruction. Yagura nodded. Sasuke then spoke. Still, for some reason, I feel like we're missing something. In the wreckage of the mountain's graveyard, the figure of Orochimaru and Kabuto walked. They made their way toward the battle. The Ten Tails had been blown up, and with it, Obito. But as they looked about, they found bits and pieces of wood that seemed to have Zetsu flesh budding from it. Orochimaru picked it up. He examined it for a moment before smiling. Gather up as much as you can, Kabuto. We continue our work, with or without Obito. And that's where I'm ending it. Series over! What, you hate that I left it open like that? Well, all I can say is,
that's rough, buddy.
I guess if you want to see more of this, you'll need to make the video blow up. If this one gets enough views, maybe we'll follow up with an extra chapter, or even a sequel series, but you gotta do your part. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, peace out.